How are you feeling this day? Are you feeling joy, abundance, carefree, contentment? Or are you feeling less than? Are you feeling low weight upon your shoulders? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling resentment? Are you feeling the sense that you really just don't care? How does one get from really not caring to caring abundantly? How does one go from anger to laughter? And it is true that it is in stages, if you will, increments of time, feeling one emotion, and then it changes to another emotion, and then another emotion, and another emotion. And ones will say, but I want to live in joy all the time. And yet one needs the contrast to understand what joy truly is. Now, joy is something that is deep within. It is part of the love and light we speak about on the depths of one's soul, the depths of the wording, not fluffy buzzwords, love and light. No, what we speak about, a love so grand, it is eternal light. It is the light you arrived upon Mother Earth as part of your being, as your being, and then chose physical form, if you will. So one is delivered upon Mother Earth, and then life begins. And in the beginning of life, ones around certainly will convey their own emotions, will convey one's own feelings. In the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. What we are wanting, desiring to speak about this day is happiness. Happiness. Happiness doesn't feel as expansive as joyfulness. Happiness, a content place to reside. Happiness, a peaceful place to live. Happiness, where one has a smile to share with all. Happiness, where ones are inspired for their own creation. Happy. And ones walk along, and in their scenery, in their own travels, in their steps, experiences can often cover one's happiness. Or another will come in and present something that will cause upset, removing the happiness. For when one is feeling anger, happiness is not felt. When one is feeling resentment, happiness is not felt. So how does one live in the state of happiness? And isn't it true that ones truly want to seek happiness? And all the time that one is seeking happiness, following their dreams, if you will, creating a pathway of what their desires are, wanting to strive, wanting to move forward in the momentum that moving forward in the direction one's heart is calling, happiness will be found. And the irony to it all, and it is very difficult to understand, The irony to it all is happiness cannot be found. And the reason happiness cannot be found is because it truly lives in the joy, in one's inner essence of who they are. In the love, in the light, resides the happiness. Happiness comes from within, and it is so true. But ones will say, no, I'll be happy when I find my partner in life. You'll have others that will say, oh, I'll be happy when I separate from the partner that I thought would walk with me my lifetime. I'll be happy when the kids arrive. I will be happy when the kids go to university. I'll be happy when the car is exchanged for a very brilliant new car. I'll be happy when my career flourishes. I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when. So ones are always moving forward towards one's desires in which one feels will bring happiness. How often do one strive for something that they truly perceived would be the answer to all the troubles, and it would certainly bring happiness to the travel. And then one's experience what they thought was going to bring happiness, only to find that there was a whole lot of pain attached to it. So ones get in a relationship, just an example, we'll give several. Ones get in a relationship and oh, it is so loving, and ones are eager and they truly feel the sensation of happiness. And then time goes on, and perhaps it's not a long period of time where life presents, or the other presents, or one presents to oneself something that disrupted the harmony in the relationship, whatever it be. And then this relationship that caused so much, brought so much happiness and joy and ease and contentment, starts to show signs of discontentment, disharmony, disagreements, anger, resentment. How does that happen in the contrast of life? Ones are in great search of a career that they truly feel would bring them great joy, a dream job. And they get into the dream job only to find that the commute to get there is truly draining, taking away the joy of the job. Or they get into the environment and the ones around them they do not resonate with. They're not comfortable in another's presence. And so their dream job then becomes a mundane job, not feeling very happy with the decision of this dream job. So you get the picture of what we are sharing. Ones always strive for happiness, and yet in the same experience, the opposite can be presented. How does it all work? And why is it like that? Now, we're not saying that everyone that gets in a relationship has the opposite. No, not at all. There are relationships that only flourish year after year after year after year. Flourish because the two are so in love. There are ones that find their dream job and truly have it flourish year after year after year after year. And so we are not saying that what will bring happiness will also bring discontentment. what we are saying is that when ones go in a great search for happiness, they are searching for things, items, people outside of themselves to bring it forth. And it truly doesn't last very long, because it just comes from within. Happiness is a state of being, but happiness is your authentic being. Anger feels awful because it is so opposite to your authentic self. Upset feels awful because it is so opposite to your authentic self. Different ends of the scale, if you will. Happiness, where does it come from? It comes from within. Now, ones will say, well, I am happy, but I am sure if I found a partner, oh, my days would be filled with even more happiness. And we will agree. And the reason that it is like that, or the reason that ones feel that they are experiencing it, it is expansive. So when one is already happy, they're already abundantly, joyously happy, creating their world, creating their day. And then an experience comes forth, if you will. The partner is found, the job is found, fill in the blank, the bank account becomes full. Whatever what ones feel will bring happiness. The children arrive, the children perhaps leave. It is true that one would expand in happiness. Ones would expand in happiness. So they feel that the outside item, the outside experience created the happiness. But truly what is being created is that one's inner essence intuitively opened the door to receive the happiness because of their own personal desires. Just ponder it. So when something does not arrive that one feels will bring happiness, and in the absence of, one start to truly feel the weight upon one's shoulders, and they become so unhappy. I'm unhappy, I am alone. I am unhappy with the job that I chose. I am unhappy that financial resources are not as abundant as I would prefer. I am unhappy. I'm fighting with my spouse. I am unhappy because what I thought would bring happiness did not. And I am unhappy because I've waited for so long for happiness to arrive. I don't know what it feels like anymore. I've lived in turmoil for so long. I lived in upset for so long, waiting for happiness, and it never arrives. And if it does arrive, it is so short-lived. I'm not meant to be happy in this lifetime. Perhaps happiness is for the others. I cannot find happiness. And all the while, the treasure is within. All the while, if one's understood to bring it forth on their own, the world will open up to the desires they are wishing to experience. How does one be happy in the absence of? They're waiting for something to happen to bring happiness. It is within. So let us say one chooses to wait for the unfolding of something that they believe will bring happiness. and it is not presented in the time frame one wanted it to be presented, what then? Then the waiting period becomes a burden. Travels become difficult. And then ones become jaded, if you will. They become lethargic, not wanting to dream, not wanting to have desires, for one convinces oneself that it'll never happen. They talk themselves out of all the good things that they were anticipating to happen to bring them happiness. It's funny. And yet, each soul arrives upon Mother Earth with it already within, waiting to be experienced. And the wait, when we say waiting to be experienced, is just bringing it forth. For there is no waiting truly. There is no waiting when one realizes it is held deep within. Now we understand that if ones have walked years in the state of feeling the burdens, feeling depressed, feeling grand sorrow, feeling anger, feeling resentment, when the travel is those emotions, predominantly those emotions, it is difficult to see happiness. It is extremely difficult to feel happiness. So how does one go on the grand search of happiness when one is feeling so bad? When one is truly, truly unhappy, unhappy with decisions, unhappy with where they stand, unhappy with who they are, unhappy with how they look, unhappy with others, and unhappy with fill in the blank. How does one seek the treasure of happiness when unhappiness is so predominant? How does one do it? Ones would say, well, if I had the answer, don't you think I would choose it quickly? Don't you think that I would want to feel better? Yes. Yes, ones do wish to feel better. But it is a search. And it takes grand effort. And if one chooses to wait for something to change, to find the happiness, to have happiness delivered, one's will be greatly disappointed. For even one's change comes from within. So where are we going with this conversation? A conversation that you've heard often in your travels of life. One's wanting, seeking happiness and not having the experience. The contrast so grand. And ones are always looking at others who are unhappy or happy. And if you're not in a happy place and you see a happy person, you sort of feel even more resentment, if you will. How do you get to be happy? Obviously, you haven't lived the life I've lived. And it becomes condemning when ones see another in bliss, in happiness. So if you are seeking your partner in life and you stumble across a couple walking hand in hand and you can feel the love, you can see the love they hold for one another, there is a chance that you would be condemning. You would feel empty in your heart because you're watching someone else have the experience that you wish to have and it has not arrived yet. But what if you embraced what you saw and you brought your happiness forth when you saw it? What if you saw the couple who were deeply in love having an experience that you are wanting, and it could be any experience, we're just choosing this, and you gave forth love, and you saw the beauty in it, and in that beauty you felt happiness, you felt joy surfacing, coming up from within. would you agree that that feeling of being happy for another would only bring happiness for yourself? For would you agree that things do run, emotions do run on vibration? So if you vibrate outwards happiness, even if it has not arrived, would it not speed up the process to arrive? Ponder, just ponder. When one is condemning any one thing, even condemning that it's taking too long, I must be doing something wrong. It's taking too long to get here. I keep going on these dates and I'm truly not interested in the ones that I am meeting. I'm just getting discouraged in the process, and ones will give up. Ones will give up. But how often do ones find the place of contentment, place of happiness and joy, while they are seeking their desires to bring more joy? Feels like there is a time frame on it. Feels like there is a time frame on it. So we want to guide and we want to share. We want ones to feel better than perhaps one is feeling this day. So if you are in search of your grandest, greatest desires and dreams, and you have yet to experience them, we want to encourage you to look within to see how you are feeling about it. Does the dream still bring a sensation of passion? Or has it traveled been so long that you feel beaten in the waiting of it? Have you truly talked yourself out of it? And while talking yourself out of it, you feel upset every time you think that you have not achieved it. And then you have decided that it just is not the right time, it just will not come. And instead of being disappointed, you just drop the whole thing. What if you could turn that around and say, I'm going to be happy anyway. I'm going to be happy anyway. I'm going to be happy along the journey that I am creating to have what I am desiring. But I'm going to be happy in my travels. I'm going to be happy in my travels. And when one picks that scenery, when one picks that road to travel, that they're going to be happy anyway, it truly expands because it is a vibration that goes forth. So think of your happiness walking steps before your own steps. Just think about it. Walk along with us. So you are moving forward towards your dreams, your desires, your wishes, whether it be to find a partner or write a book. And so you're moving towards what is calling you forth. And as it calls you forth, you do not see evidence of it. So what normally happens is that ones become so discouraged, not having the tangible evidence or not having the experience, they talk themselves out of having it, or they get so discouraged with it that truly by the time it does arrive, they're not truly wanting it anymore. It took so long to get here, I don't wish to have it. I've changed my mind now. And so there's some resentment behind that. When you are walking towards your grandest desires, and it could just be going through your day, knowing what you are wanting to experience. So what if you start small? I am going to walk through this day and I'm going to bring joy and I'm going to bring happiness forth. I'm going to do it. I am going to find my happy moments throughout this day. And then you're very mindful to bring forth the happiness, to bring forth contentment, to bring forth joy. And it is so difficult to do if you are feeling discouraged. It is so difficult to do if you are feeling unhappy. So find the thoughts that do bring happiness. Find something that brings happiness. So let us say we'll continue with our example, you are wanting to find a partner. You are wanting romantic expansion, expression, experience. And the one is just not arriving. Just not arriving. And you start to beat upon yourself. I'm not good enough. What am I doing wrong? I haven't met anyone. I should do this, fill in the blank. I should have done this. Why did I wait so long? Why? And you start beating upon yourself. And there are times that ones will find flaws, what they perceive as their flaws. Well, perhaps if I was thinner, perhaps if I was taller, perhaps if I did not fill in the blank, I would have more chance. And we want to say, perhaps if you stop beating upon oneself for not having the experience, that the happiness will walk before your travels to open the space of the receiving. So we started to say, think of happiness from deep within your being, in your inner essence of all that you are, your balance of who you are. And happiness truly resides there. It is yours. It walks with you every step, although it gets buried with life experience. But it is there, and all you have to do is bring it forth. So think of happiness as light. Think of happiness as, think of light emanating forth from a lighthouse. Think of your own vehicle lights when you turn on your lights at night, and the light beaming forth to light up your journey. So when things feel dark and you're discouraged for the absence of what you are wanting to bring happiness, think that your happiness shines forth. And think of light shining forth, such as a lighthouse, such as lights in your vehicle. And the light goes before you do, if you will. The light expands, allowing you to see more clearly. But it is not of great truth that others will see the light heading towards them? A boat in the water would see the light of the lighthouse. A vehicle coming in the opposite direction would see your light, would not see you, but would see the light. Think about it. You're driving in your vehicle late at night. Ones will see the light of the vehicle, but they will not see you. They see the light first. Think of happiness just like that. When you find the space to push forth happiness, it lights up a pathway to attract, to allow others to see your own brilliance. And when one see how brilliant you are because you are standing in your loving light, you are standing in your happiness, they come forth. Ones are drawn to light. Ones are drawn to light. So think of happiness as light. Think of happiness walking before you, being before you, present before you. And so you're walking along and you're wanting to bring forth something that you feel will truly enhance the happiness you already hold. What you're calling forth will find you much faster if they can see the light. It is a metaphor, but it is so accurate. So shine your light, shine happiness. Think of happiness coming from within. Think of happiness as light extending forth to light up the pathway and to also bring forth others to create what you are desiring. You'll bring forth ones to see your brilliant light of your desire. Ponder the words and then try it. So when you are wanting something to arrive to bring happiness and it has not arrived, instead of finding condemnation, instead of finding harsh judgment, just push forth your light and keep traveling in the direction of what you feel will bring happiness, because that is your desires. That is what you want to experience. Allow space for the travel. Allow space for the travel. The world will expand when you expand your inner light, when you expand your inner happiness. When you understand that what you are desiring is in front of you, and you will see it when you come upon it. But it is true that light will draw it closer to you. Just ponder. Just ponder. So, are you feeling happy this day? And if you are feeling less than happy, find the thought, find the stillness to find within the deepest, greatest treasure of who you are and bring forth your authentic, joyous, vibrant, vivacious self. Bring forth happiness and watch what you are desiring. Watch it arrive. Watch it be drawn to your light. Watch, experience, savor, cherish, but truly enjoy the steps and travel in happiness if it has not arrived. Really, really, really good. There is great love for you.